and welcome to Salvage's Reviews and Recommendations. In today's video we'll be talking about DC's latest rollout, The Suicide Squad, a remake slash sequel to the original. The reason I say that is because it has original characters from the first one, such as Amanda Waller, Harley Quinn, Rick Flag and Boomerang, but also new characters such as Bloodsport, the Peacemaker, Ratcatcher, Polka Dot Man and my personal favourite, King Shark. We have a great cast. We have Harley Quinn, played by Margot Robbie. We also have Idris Elba playing Bloodsport, John Cena as the Peacemaker. We have Sylvester Stallone voicing King Shark. We have Michael Rooker playing Savant. And we also have Joel Kinnaman playing Rick Flag. Alright, let's dive into the review. So now in the film, essentially, it's two groups now. So we have the original Suicide Squad, where it's Rick Flag, Harley Quinn, Boomerang and some other characters whose fate is short-lived. We see them starting off this mission, goes a bit awry. Then about 5 minutes later we see that a second group consisting of Bloodsport, Polka Dot Man, Ratcatcher, Peacemaker, King Shark, they are also doing the same mission, but they're been shipped out somewhere different. The remaining survivors of the first group join them and they continue the mission, where the mission is essentially a country whose government got taken over. They've got weaponry which I think is very alien-esque, alien technology, and they plan to use it against the US as well as take over the world. At least that's what we assume. There's a twist and it makes you realise why they sent the Suicide Squad rather than, say, the Justice League to do the job. Alright, I think that this is a great film. It's advertised brilliantly. You get what you pay for. They advertised it as a comedy with very horror-esque violence, and that is what we got. Unlike, say for example, Marvel, who advertised Black Widow, at least again to me, as a dark-toned film with glimpses of light, when in reality it turned out to be a film heavily reliant on comedy and can never take itself seriously. Suicide Squad, while it did advertise itself as a comedy and uses a heavy amount of violence, it also had heartwarming moments which they could hold on to and not ruin with cringy jokes or drag it out too long. They knew how to let the scene breathe, which is actually quite nice to see. Like I said, this film is filled with violence, probably some of the best violence I've seen. It's nice to see. In the first 5 minutes I probably see so many supposed main characters get murdered, and it's some of the best violence I've seen in comic book films in quite some time. If I had to criticise this film, I'd have to say the film is structured in neo-noir style, which essentially is, it's not a start, middle, end, it's kind of all over the place, which for TV works brilliantly, but for a film, it's risky, especially if you're doing it more than once, and it's a small criticism. Another one is they tried to rewrite Will Smith's Deadshot. Obviously I'm assuming Will Smith didn't want to return, understandable, and so Idris Elba gets his character but rewritten. There's many similarities, both of them being very professional hitmen who do it for money. Both have children who they would protect, while Will Smith's character allowed Batman to take him down because he didn't want his daughter to see him committing crime, committing murder. Idris Elba's character, he kind of resents his daughter, but only joins the squad when violence is threatened upon her. Another thing is they decided to add two Deadshot type characters into the film, one being the Peacemaker and two being Bloodsport. So yeah, one being very similar to Will Smith's Deadshot and the Peacemaker, a bit too patriotic, but apart from the fact they're great hitman slash professional killers, similarities go out the window. Overall I think DC knocked out the park, and I think Marvel should worry, as from 2016 DC have been killing it with films such as Wonder Woman, Shazam, Aquaman, the Snyder Cut of the Justice League, and from the looks of what Batman could be, it looks like they're making comic book films for adults again, something I don't see Marvel doing. My personal rating for this film is a 9.2 out of 10. I think the cast and the crew did an exceptional job, and they made me love comic book films again, especially from the DC side of things. There's many films I could recommend. Let's start with the director who made this possible, James Gunn. If you're into the humour or style of this film, Guardians of the Galaxy, which are what he was known for before joining DC, those films are very good. He was able to keep a good amount of humour, a lot of good action scenes, and have heartfelt moments without cheesy one-note jokes being thrown in every now and then. So yeah, James Gunn's Guardians of the Galaxy, both 1 and 2. On the DC side of things, the Christopher Nolan Batman trilogy is something to behold if you can get past Christian Bale's annoying Batman voice. If you're looking for something for a little bit modern, obviously we have Harley Quinn. Margot Robbie portrayed her in a standalone DC film, Birds of Prey. Heard it's very good, definitely would recommend that. But if you're into the dark and grittier side of DC, Joker, definitely another good recommendation out there. If you're an animation fan like myself and you want to see some DC stuff, DC has you covered. There's tons of Batman/Superman films that you could watch. Now, I'm not a Superman fan, so I can only recommend you the Batman side of things. If you're into the Suicide Squad, like I recently am at the moment, but you don't want to watch the original, which is understandable, there is a Batman animated film called Batman Assault on Arkham, which you could watch. It's actually a very good film, aside from the fact they tried to sexualise Harley a bit too much. Apart from that, very good film, definitely recommend. But if you do enjoy dark but at times cartoonish-y violence, the TV show Gotham is definitely a recommendation I would give. It's on Netflix at the moment. If you're like me and you want to see more King Shark, but you don't think there's enough, I recommend the TV show Harley Quinn, where he is a main character on that show, and he is definitely just as violent as he is in the films. Maybe a little bit more. Yeah, those are my recommendations. If you do enjoy, please go and watch. I've really enjoyed the Suicide Squad. I think if they make a sequel, I'm actually going to watch that. There's no hesitation about it. And I really do think Marvel need to step their game up. After this year, unless the new Venom film, the new Spider-Man film, do not change my mind, I ain't fucking with Marvel no more. That's the truth. They need to go darker.